As Elle Woods from Legally Blonde once said, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't shoot their husbands. While we don't necessarily know if the second part of that statement is true, we do know that there is extensive research supporting the benefits that exercise has on the human body. My background consists of exercise science and rehabilitation, so with my knowledge and the research that I've done, I'm going to talk about why exactly exercise benefits the human brain and body by talking about what exercise is, its short-term benefits, and its long-term benefits. Now, all of us here are susceptible to disease caused by a lack of physical activity, so this applies to every single one of us. So what exactly is exercise? According to a health newsletter published by Harvard Medical School, there are 4 major categories of exercise. The first of which is aerobic exercise. This requires an increased oxygen uptake throughout the duration of these activities. This can look like things such as running, swimming, biking, or even jump roping. The American Heart Association recommends that adults get 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity per week. The second major category of exercise is strength training. This is designed to help build muscle mass, strength, and endurance. These exercises can be done in the form of free weights by using this kettlebell or this dumbbell, exercise machines found in your local gym, or things like resistance bands. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends that adults perform strength training exercise at least 2 to 3 times per week. The last 2 are stretching and balance exercises. According to physical therapist Dr. Rachel Wilson, balance is one of the most important factors in exercise because it can help us prevent falls and feel steadier on our feet. Stretching is important because it helps us maintain flexibility that we may lose as we get older. Examples of stretching include holding a static position in order to lengthen a muscle, and balance exercises include standing on one leg or walking on uneven surfaces. So now that we know what exactly qualifies as exercise, why is it good for us? As I mentioned before, exercise has an abundance of benefits, and it has many immediate short-term effects. Exercise can help our memory and learning abilities. According to Dr. John Ratey, author of Spark, exercise can boost our memory and help our learning habits by releasing a chemical messenger in our brain called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. It's known as Miracle-Gro for the brain because it keeps it growing and active. As we exercise, our brain continuously dumps BDNF, which leads to an increase in memorization and learning capacity. So if you have a long night of studying ahead, try going on a run or going to the gym so you can get those chemical messengers releasing. Exercise has been linked to a reduction in stress and anxiety. Dr. Ratey says as well as your brain producing BDNF, it also releases chemical messengers such as serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. All of these neurotransmitters are responsible for mood stabilization and are known as happy hormones. If you've ever had a bad day and took out your frustration by going to the gym or going on a run, chances are you felt better after, and that's due to this release in chemical messengers. Exercise has an immediate effect on the cardiovascular and respiratory systems. Have you ever noticed we breathe heavier and our hearts beat a little bit faster when we exercise? This is because our muscles need more oxygen to perform these activities. The only way it can get to your muscles is through the bloodstream, which is why we experience an increased heart rate, so it can get there faster. Now that we know what exercise is and its short-term effects, I want to elaborate and tell how they help us in the long term. People who regularly exercise tend to have a higher bone density than those who don't. Our bones are made up of living tissue and are able to adapt due to the stress of exercises. According to researchers from the National Institute of Health, our bone masses reach a peak in our 30s and then decline from there. This can lead to a disease called osteoporosis, which affects 20 million women and 2 million men in the United States. So that's why weight training as a young adult is so important for our future health. We also have a decreased risk in developing cardiovascular disease. Some of the top risk factors for this disease include high blood pressure, inactivity, and obesity, which can all be prevented or reversed from exercise. Our hearts experience cardiac hypertrophy, which means our heart muscle increases in size and strength. The same muscle growth that happens in your bicep when you do things like a bicep curl happens in your heart due to exercise, and it helps us perform better in our daily activities. Exercise is believed to prevent and reverse cell breakdown as we age. Have you ever known somebody who's gotten really mean or cranky in their old age? This is due to a decline in hormone production that we face as we age. A neuroscientist, Arthur Kramer, conducted a study that showed an increase in brain volume due to exercise. He tested an elderly group and split the subjects into two groups. One group exercised 3 times a week, and the other remained sedentary. After 6 months of this, he scanned all subjects' brains and saw that the brains of the group that exercised looked 2 to 3 years younger than those who don't. At the beginning of this conversation, I mentioned that we are all at risk for disease due to a lack of exercise. Well, I have now shared 4 different categories of exercise and the short-term and long-term benefits to help you prevent these diseases. So the next time you are exercising, reward yourself for investing in your long-term health.